Growing up, Christmas dinners were always awkward, or maybe I was awkward. I spent many hours missing festivities and reading books in my closet walls. I had never liked closets. You see, when you are 5'10", any space can easily feel just a little too small, but I still chose claustrophobia over conversation because I would rather look at poorly lit fine print than the judgmental eyes of my own relatives. Anxiety would consume me and turn small talk into sweaty palms and a racing heartbeat. At the end of every dinner, creeping out of the closet left me feeling uncomfortable, left me sore, left me feeling more nervous than when I had first crawled in there, and coming to terms with my sexuality publicly felt a little too similar. My early time spent outside of the closet felt like Bambi's first steps. My knees knocked like wind chimes, and my heart raced so fast I swear it was trying to latch onto my rib cage like monkey bars at the playground. Upon many failed attempts to tell my mother that the heteronormativity I was constantly exposed to hadn't exactly rubbed off, I wrote an email. My nervous fingertips jumped from one key to another. I strung sentences together like silk-constructed paragraphs like poetry, and after one too many meaningless metaphors, I jerked the cursor to the center of the page and simply typed, "I like girls, Mom." I later learned that my mother cried upon discovering that her daughter, who was once always picked last in gym class, suddenly played for both teams. Conversation soon felt like interrogation, and I suddenly craved the feeling of claustrophobia, and I missed the familiarity of my closet walls. I had heard from many that my feelings could just be temporary, and yes, I have longed for my beauty to be compared to that of the moon, but my love is not a phase. Once, someone told me that my act of coming out was sexy, but you see, I do not spend endless hours enduring erotic sex with lustful strangers. No, I stopped identifying as straight, not an introvert. And I do not need my love to be someone else's pornography in order for it to be validated. I was told that homophobia had ended, that I was only in the closet if I put myself there in the start. But to the straight cis guy who said this to me, has your sexuality ever made a parent cry? Was your love once banned in all 50 states? Your principle is flawed, false, and blinded by privilege. Homophobia is not dead. I witnessed it bleed onto my headlines when I read the 49 names of the club goers turned victims in Orlando. They entered as lovers, as sisters, as brothers, as parents, as children. They left as corpses. They were not just members of the queer community, they were human beings. Living, breathing human beings, just like the girl who held my hands in the crowded city streets as we marched alongside the Pride Parade. I had heard words of protest uttered by only few, but my heart truly broke when I watched too many of those attending load back onto public transit, suddenly stripped bare of their glitter, of their makeup, of their pride they once held in who they were. I watched a couple share a final kiss before folding up their pride flag like a napkin, as if trying to make it small enough to disappear, as if they wanted to disappear. I spent the train ride home wiping my lipstick off her cheeks. That day, we avoided news cameras like landmines, and I savored every second of affection we shared in the busy city streets, because back home, these moments took place behind closed doors, because her home would not be a home if she came out inside of it. To say that my trip outside of the closet was easy would be a lie, but there are far too many people still unable to say that they've even made it this far.